What's up everyone, and welcome back to another video. In this video, I'll be reviewing a new type of model for my collection and a new type of model for my channel, and that is the 1 to 200 scale Ansett Australia 747-300 made by the German manufacturer. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing this right, Schabak models. So I got this model off of eBay a couple months ago for a great price, around $25. And when I got it, I actually didn't know that the Schabak models brand actually makes 1 to 250 scale of the diecast models. I knew that they had made the 1 to 600 scale and I think 1 to 450 scale, but I didn't know that they made the 1 to 250 scale, which compared to all the other models, the 1 to 250 and the 1 to 200 scales are a lot larger than the other models that they make. So the Schabak model brand is definitely not a very well-known brand that made the aircraft models, at least in the US. I'm not sure, as far as I know of, I don't think they exist anymore. Either that or they just don't really make aircraft models anymore, because I don't really see anything of them, and if I do see anything, it's usually all the vintage stuff. So the Schabak model brand, I still don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but so they were a German toy and model company that produced many different types of aircraft and many different scale sizes. I think the smallest was the 1 to 600 scales, and then the largest was the 1 to 250 scales. And they had over 200 different airlines or types of airlines that they produced models for, and I think it was the late 80s and throughout the 1990s. So, although I do not know much about the model that I have here, I really had only gotten it because of the scale size and the cheap price that it was at. But it actually is a very nice model and very nicely well made. The entire model pretty much is the die-cast metal. Even the wings and the tail are all the pretty much what I'd say heavy duty metal. Everything is metal apart from the landing gear and the engines. The landing gear has pretty much rubber on the wheels part, and then the engines are just the usual, nice, well-made plastic. But other than that, the entire model is pretty much metal. I mean, I guess also I could say the cockpit windows are also plastic, but other than that, the entire model is metal. And I do know it is somewhat rare because I did try searching for pictures of it online and I wasn't able to find anything. Other than that, I don't really know much about this model, so if any of you are any collectors of this type of the Schabak model brand, let me know if this model is rare or not, because I would like to know. But anyway, so Ansett Australia was a major Australian airline from 1936 until 2002, and it ceased operations after financial challenges, or after a financial collapse in 2001. So I don't know when this model was produced. Probably was produced in the 90s. Maybe was not have a large variety that were made, but other than that, it is a very nice model. So I did want to start off with the review of the box, and obviously the box is going to be pretty big since the model is in the 1 to 250 scale. But I actually haven't seen most of the Schabak model brands. The models that I've seen, usually the boxes are some sort of different kind of design on it. So this is the first time that I actually had seen this design on one of their boxes. But so up at the top of the box, there is the Schabak models brand, their logo right there. So with the Boeing 747, the 1-250 die-cast, accurately detailed supermodel. With this is a picture of the JAL Japan Airlines 747. It looks like kind of like a 747-400, might be a 200 or 300, I don't know. At the bottom, there is, this actually was not originally made in the design of the box. This was put on there, I believe by the airline, actually, because it is a sticker of the Boeing 747-300 with the item number there, and then the Ansett Australia tail design right there in the corner. Each section of the box has a different kind of design part of it for the model. The model displayed on the sides is the United Airlines 747-400 in the battleship gray livery. But the top portion of the box is the main thing I wanted to show, because it shows pretty much the whole aircraft and the model stand. The model that, when I had gotten this model, I think it was used, but everything was still included in there, and I don't think it really was taken out, but the box was open. But so here is displayed with the aircraft would look like on the stand. I do have this stand that I will show later in the video. So clearly the stand is very different from most other model brands, and it definitely has the aircraft sit pretty high up on the stand rather than just kind of low, even with everything else. But so on the side there, Boeing 747, all the other stuff right there. The model comes complete with a stand. Each section has a different thing that it describes. So like this has a stand. Each model comes complete with a stand, which can be removed, allowing the model to be displayed on its landing gear, with the logo right there in the corner again. And on this side has with the main landing gear on all the description for that stuff. And then on the bottom part has pretty much the description for the model. I'm not going to read all this. I mean, if you want to pause the video, you can read this stuff. But yeah, so there is the description for the model. And then on the other side shows what the plastic part around the engine cowlings are. So really nicely detailed for the box, and I do like how they accurately described everything. I think that was definitely a really great addition to it. Nothing on the bottom, just plain blue. But overall, it's a really nicely designed for it. Relatively simple, but I do like how they described everything for the model. I think that was a really great addition and a really nice detail to it. So now for the review of the model. So up at the front, starting off with the cockpit windows. So unlike most other models, usually the cockpit windows are painted on, but for this model, the cockpit windows are actually a clear plastic part, which is definitely makes it a lot different than most other models. I kind of do think it would look better if it was just painted, but considering that this is a different model brand than like everything else, I do think it is a pretty nice addition to it. And then there are the start of the cabin windows that start up at the nose of the plane and go throughout the entire part of the fuselage, with the Ansett Australia logo in the center of the fuselage. And then as you go towards the end of the plane, there are the cargo doors displayed there on the undercarriage with the Australian flag and the registration number, which is VH-INJ. And then there is the really nice Ansett Australia tail design on tail art on displayed on the tail. So relatively simple livery design, but is really nicely modeled, fully painted like most of the detail models such as Gemini Jets, NG models, Phoenix models. Everything is fully painted on the aircraft. And then the wings have the really nice display of the gray outline on there. And then all four engines nicely accurated displayed there with the engine cowlings there, the plastic part there, the white engines. And then one of the main parts is the landing gear. How I do like how the landing gear is actually rubber. I'm not sure. Gemini Jets does have rubber parts of the landing gear too, I think, for at least for the 1/200 scale. But landing gear is really nice, really nicely accurately displayed there. So overall, it is a very nicely detailed model. Another thing I did want to point out is that for the size of this model and what it's made out of, this model is actually pretty heavy. And I'm not sure if the Gemini Jets 1/200 747 scales are the same thing. But I do know this model weighs probably around, I would say around 3 pounds, which is definitely heavy for an average size just aircraft model. So I did want to do a quick comparison between the real-time models and the size of this, just to kind of show the scale size of it compared to what the real toys are. I think the real toys are, at least the 747s, I think those are a 1/600 scale model. I think is what the 747s are, at least. Might be 1/600. I don't think it's 1/450. I think it's more the 737s, but all the aircraft are different scale sizes for the real toys, but compared to the 747s, definitely is a major difference compared to in the scale sizes. So, and last but not least, I wanted to show the model stand. So, obviously, compared to a Gemini Jets model stand, the model stand that comes with this model is definitely very different. So, whenever the aircraft is displayed on it, it is relatively supported pretty good, although it definitely does not look like it is. So usually what it does is just put the model in like that, and overall definitely doesn't look very sturdy on the stand because it is kind of wobble around a lot. but it does stay on the stand and kind of does make it look like it's taking off, which I do like, and definitely is a nice addition to it. So, it is really nice and different compared to the average Gemini Jets models and NG Phoenix models, because I think all those model stands are pretty much the same. So overall, is a pretty nice addition to it. So I'm not sure how common these types of models are between the 1 to 250 scale. I keep hitting my phone camera. But anyway, so I'm not sure how common the 1 to 250 scales are of the Schabak models, but if you do see one, usually they aren't listed for a really high price whenever I do see any. If you do see one, I would highly suggest getting it because they are really nicely detailed models, and especially since usually a model of this scale size usually costs a lot of money, and if you can get one for like $30, that's definitely a really great deal. So that pretty much is all for today's review video. So thank you all so much for watching, and I might get some more models in the future of this company, of these Schabak models, but as for right now, this will probably be my only one until maybe I find another one in the scale size that is a really great price and maybe has a special livery or something. But so anyway, thank you all so much for watching, and please remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye.